Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into Rich Dad, Poor Dad today
Oh, yeah.
to see what financial wisdom we can pull out.
Awesome.
And, the book tells the story of this young boy
Yeah.
who's learning about money from two very different dads.
Right.
His own dad, who's very educated but struggles with money,
Mm-hmm.
and then his friend's dad, who's this successful entrepreneur, the rich dad.
It's a really cool premise.
Yeah, and it challenges a lot of our ideas about money and success.
Totally. And that's what makes it so interesting for so many people, I think.
Absolutely. It kind of poses this question: what does it really take to be successful financially?
Right.
I mean, most of us didn't get that lesson in school.
No, not really. And one of the first things Rich Dad, Poor Dad points out is
Mhm.
that the rich, they don't work for money.
Yeah.
They have money work for them.
It sounds cliche,
It does.
but there are some really good stories in the book that show this.
Oh, for sure. Like that story about Robert, the 9-year-old, working for Rich Dad for like 10 cents an hour. Yeah.
And then later, working for free.
I know. When I first read that, I thought it was kind of harsh.
Yeah,
But then I thought about it more, and I was like, wait a minute.
right.
This isn't about cheap labor.
Exactly.
It's a lesson.
It's a strategic lesson.
Yeah.
Rich Dad wanted Robert to experience that trap of working for money.
Right.
So he'd want something more, something different.
So, like, are you right now is what you're doing making money,
Yeah.
even when you're not working?
It's a big question.
It is. It's a huge question.
Yeah.
And it goes to the heart of what Rich Dad is saying.
And it leads right into another core idea from the book: assets and liabilities.
Oh, yeah.
Financial Literacy 101.
Okay.
Rich Dad makes it simple. Assets put money in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Liabilities take it out.
Right. But what most people think are assets,
Yeah.
like a house or a car,
Yeah.
those are often actually liabilities.
That's the trick.
That's where things get really interesting.
It's so true.
The book talks about this young couple
Who keep making more money, but they end up deeper in debt
because they just don't get it.
because they don't get that
Yeah,
difference.
Exactly.
They're working harder and harder, but their money isn't working for them.
That's the trap.
It's such a common trap.
Yeah. And it shows why building a foundation of assets is so important,
Yeah.
which leads us to another key lesson from the book. Mind your own business.
Okay.
And when Rich Dad says mind your own business,
Right.
he doesn't just mean start a company or something. It's
Yes.
about building up your assets.
Okay.
So your money works for you.
So your job isn't your business.
Right.
It's just a way to get there.
Exactly. That story about Ray Kroc and McDonald's
Oh my gosh.
blew my mind.
That one's crazy.
Yeah, most people think McDonald's is about fast food.
Right. Hamburgers.
Burgers, yeah. But Rich Dad points out that Kroc's real business wasn't the burgers, it was the real estate.
Wow.
He was buying up the land under all those McDonald's,
Brilliant.
while everyone else just saw the short-term money from the food.
I know. He knew that land was just going to be worth more and more over time.
Right. Way more than just selling burgers.
So much more.
Now I know most of us aren't going to build a real estate empire.
Uh-huh. Yeah, probably not.
But there's a lesson there.
Definitely.
It's about thinking strategically with your money,
Yeah.
building a system that makes money even when you're not working.
So the big question is, are you building your asset column?
That's the question.
What can you do today to get started?
Because the book gives some really practical advice on that.
Oh yeah, we'll get into those steps later.
One of the big things the book talks about is taxes.
Ooh, taxes.
I know it can be kind of a scary topic,
Yeah.
but it's so important for building wealth.
Totally. It's not saying don't pay taxes.
No.
It's about understanding how it works
Yeah.
and using that to your advantage,
Right. Being financially savvy.
not just compliant.
Exactly. Rich Dad says the rich don't just pay more in taxes.
Mm-hmm.
They use what they know to legally pay a less tax.
Okay.
He talks about strategies like that 1031 exchange,
Oh yeah.
where you can put off taxes on real estate investments.
They don't teach you that stuff in school.
I know, right? Understanding taxes is so important for wealth.
Yeah, but it's not part of traditional education.
It's overlooked.
It is.
And Rich Dad, Poor Dad really highlights that gap.
Yeah.
It wants us to take charge of our own financial learning,
Right.
not just getting a paycheck.
And there's this other idea in the book about inventing money.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just the numbers. It's about being smart with money.
Yeah, seeing opportunities others don't.
Yeah, like that story about Alexander Graham Bell
Oh, yeah.
offering his telephone patent to Western Union for $100 grand.
And they said no.
They turned him down.
Can you imagine?
They missed out on one of the biggest inventions ever.
Yeah,
They couldn't see the potential.
exactly. And that's financial intelligence. Seeing the value where others see risk.
So how do you actually invent money in real life?
Well, the book gives examples,
Okay.
like buying a house with no money down
Okay.
and then selling it for a profit quickly.
Oh, wow.
It's about seeing opportunities
Mm-hmm.
and making deals work for you.
Okay.
It's not just earning money.
Mm-hmm.
It's about creating it through your knowledge and skills.
So it's about working to learn, not just working for money.
Exactly. And here's where the two dads in the book are so different.
Okay.
One wants job security.
Mhm.
The other one wants to learn new things all the time.
Yeah.
And Rich Dad says, take jobs not just for the money,
Yeah.
but for what you can learn.
Okay.
He says, learn sales and marketing,
Oh, interesting.
because those are valuable in any field.
That's true. You're always selling something.
Right. Even if it's not a product, it's your ideas.
Your skills, your perspective.
Exactly.
So are you stuck in a job just for the paycheck?
That's a question.
Or are you building skills that will help you in the long run?
And are you investing in learning about money?
These are big questions. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad makes us think about them.
It does.
It's not about following rules. It's about being smart with money.
And taking action.
And the book talks about the things that hold people back from success.
Yeah.
There are 5 big roadblocks.
Mm-hmm.
Fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance.
And what's cool is that it doesn't just point them out.
Right.
It gives ways to deal with each one.
Okay, let's talk about those roadblocks.
Okay.
First up, fear. That fear of losing money.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I think everyone feels that.
For sure.
But Rich Dad, Poor Dad says it's not about getting rid of fear.
Right.
It's about managing it.
And using it to your advantage.
What do you think about that?
I think that's really powerful, like that saying about courage.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the absence of fear, it's acting despite it.
And Rich Dad says start early.
Yeah, the sooner the better.
The earlier you start investing, the more time you have to recover from mistakes.
You have time to learn.
So it's okay to make mistakes.
It's part of the process.
And Rich Dad says think big.
Go big or go home. Right.
Yeah, he literally says if you're going to go broke big.
I love that.
It's bold.
It is.
I think he's saying take calculated risks,
Yeah.
but don't let fear stop you.
And he compares it to the mindset of Texans.
Oh, yeah.
Think big. Don't be afraid to take risks.
All right, so embrace that Texan spirit.
Yeah.
What about cynicism?
Oh, man, that's another big one.
It's easy to be negative,
Yeah.
to focus on why things won't work.
It's so easy to get stuck in that.
I've been there. It's like this voice saying, it's not going to work, or you're going to fail.
Yeah. But Rich Dad, Poor Dad offers another perspective.
Okay.
He says, cynics criticize, winners analyze.
Ooh, I like that.
He says criticizing blinds you to the good stuff,
Yeah.
but analyzing helps you see the big picture, so
Mhm.
you see potential that others miss.
So it's about looking at things objectively,
Yeah.
weigh the good and bad,
Mhm.
and make a smart choice.
Don't let your feelings get in the way.
I like that. And he uses real estate as an example.
Uh-huh.
People say, I don't want to fix toilets.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So they don't invest in property.
Right.
But Rich Dad's like, who says you have to fix them?
Exactly.
You can hire someone to do that.
You can hire a property manager.
Right. So you can focus on the big picture.
Building wealth, acquiring assets.
That's a great point. It's about finding solutions,
Yeah.
not getting stuck on the little things.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
All right, now laziness. How does the book handle that?
Rich Dad's advice is simple but powerful.
Okay.
Pay yourself first.
Make it a habit.
Make it non-negotiable.
Okay.
Save and invest before you pay bills.
So don't wait till the end of the month to see what's left.
Nope, do it first.
Wow.
He uses this great analogy about a 98-pound weakling
Okay.
getting sand kicked in his face.
Oof.
Most people just take it, but Rich Dad says use that.
Use that.
Yeah, that pressure as
Mhm.
motivation to get stronger.
Okay.
So the pressure to pay bills after you've already paid yourself,
Yeah.
that can make you hustle harder.
I love that analogy.
It's about turning discomfort into fuel.
Yeah, pushing yourself to reach those goals.
Exactly.
All right, so we talk about fear, cynicism, laziness.
What about bad habits?
Oh, yeah, those are tough.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad says one of the worst is dipping into savings.
Oh, man. I think we've all done that.
That's tempting, right?
It is. When something unexpected happens.
Or you see something you really want.
Yeah, but the book says the wealthy know better.
They know savings are for making more money.
Not for covering expenses.
Exactly. So it's a mindset shift.
So it's not a safety net. It's a tool for building wealth.
It's a way to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle.
That's huge.
The book also talks about paying your brokers well.
Really? That seems counterintuitive.
It does, but think about it.
Okay.
It's like investing in your financial education.
Yeah.
A good broker can save you so much time and money.
And help you avoid mistakes.
It's exactly. So it's worth paying for that expertise.
All right. We've done fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits.
What's the last one?
The last obstacle is arrogance.
Oh, that's a tricky one.
Yeah, thinking we know everything.
Or that what we don't know doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
It is, especially nowadays when information is everywhere.
It's easy to think we have all the answers.
But Rich Dad says that arrogance often hides ignorance.
Okay.
So be humble enough to admit you don't know everything,
Yeah?
and then go learn from experts and books.
So have a growth mindset.
Always be learning, especially about money.
That's so important. The world of money is always changing.
It's complex and always evolving.
And I think that's what I love about Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
It makes you want to be curious and question things.
It challenges the conventional wisdom.
It does. So we've talked about the obstacles
Yeah.
and some of their main ideas.
Right.
But the book also gives steps you can actually take.
To get started on your financial journey,
That's what we need, right?
putting knowledge into action.
Because it's great to know stuff, but we got to do something with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's look at some of those steps.
All right, I'm ready to get to work.
All right. Well, one of the first things the book says is to find a mentor.
A mentor, yeah, that's such good advice.
It is. It's about surrounding yourself with people who are already successful.
So you can learn from their experience.
Yeah, ask them questions, see how they do it.
And a lot of people think of mentorship as this formal thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be.
It can be much more informal.
Yeah, just connecting with someone you admire.
And asking for advice, picking their brain.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to look for mentors in unexpected places.
Could be family, friends, even someone you meet at an event.
So keep your eyes open for those potential mentors.
The book also talks about mastering one formula
Okay.
before learning a new one.
So what does that mean practically?
It means pick one investing strategy,
Okay.
learn it really well, and then you can move on to something new.
So don't try to do everything at once.
No, focus on one thing, get good at it.
It's like building a house.
Exactly, you need a solid foundation first.
And of course, pay yourself first.
That's fundamental.
Make it a habit no matter what.
Right. Invest in yourself before you pay bills.
Even if it's a small amount, consistency is key.
Exactly, small amounts add up over time.
And don't forget about compound interest.
It's amazing how powerful that is.
So let your money work for you over the long term.
And the book also says to pay your brokers well.
Seek out that expert advice.
Yeah, and be willing to pay for it.
Because a good broker can save you so much trouble.
Time, money, mistakes.
See it as an investment in your financial education.
Another key step is to use assets to buy luxuries.
Delay gratification.
Yes, let your assets fund your lifestyle.
Instead of your job or credit cards.
Exactly. That's the goal, right?
Yeah, financial freedom.
Where your money works for you and you don't have to work for it.
I like that.
Yeah.
And Rich Dad, Poor Dad also talks about choosing heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Find people who inspire you.
People who have achieved what you want.
Learn from them. Study their stories.
Let their success fuel your own.
And networking is important too.
So important.
Build relationships with like-minded people.
Go to events. Join groups online. Put yourself out there.
You never know where you'll find your next opportunity.
Or your next mentor. And finally, the book says action beats inaction.
Don't wait, just start.
Even small steps, done consistently, make a difference.
So build momentum, keep moving forward.
One step at a time.
So are you ready to start taking action?
What are you going to do with all this information?
What resonates with you? What will you put into practice?
That's what we're going to look at next time.
Yeah, we'll dive deeper into those action steps.
See how you can apply them to your life.
Sounds good to me.
Looking forward to it. So we talked about some of the big ideas in Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
But one that really stuck with me was this mind your own business thing. It's not just about a side hustle. It's about making your money work for you.
You know, at first I thought it meant just focus on your job.
Yeah.
But it's like the opposite. It's about thinking bigger, like an entrepreneur.
Right.
Building something that generates income, whether it's real estate or whatever.
And the book really gets into understanding how corporations work.
Yeah, that's where it gets a little complex.
It does.
But Rich Dad talks about how corporations can help you,
Yeah.
especially with taxes and protecting your assets.
Right. So how does that actually work?
Yeah, break it down for us.
Well, the book says the wealthy don't just pay more taxes.
Mm-hmm.
They use corporations to structure things so they pay less legally.
Okay, so it's about being smart, not sneaky.
Exactly. It's like having a good lawyer or accountant.
Right.
They know the rules and help you use them to your advantage.
So you're playing the game strategically.
Right. Like, the book gives this example of a young couple buying a house.
Yeah.
They're excited about the tax deduction for the mortgage interest.
Great.
But Rich Dad points out they're still paying for everything else with money they've already paid taxes on.
That's a good point. It's about seeing the whole picture,
The bigger picture, yeah.
not just focusing on one little deduction here or there.
And corporations can really help with that. The book
Right.
says corporations let you earn, spend, then pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
While employees, it's earn, pay taxes, then spend.
Wow, that's a big difference.
It is. That order changes things a lot.
So while Rich Dad, Poor Dad is all about building assets,
Right.
it also says you got to understand the legal and financial side of things.
To protect and grow what you build.
So financial intelligence isn't just about numbers,
Nope. It's knowing how money really works in the world.
including the laws and taxes.
Yeah, it's like learning a whole new language.
Language of money.
Exactly. Once you know it, you can write your own financial story.
Now, we talked before about obstacles to success.
Those roadblocks.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad says there are 5 big ones.
Yeah.
And fear is a huge one, that fear of losing money.
Everyone feels that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But how do you get past it and actually start doing things?
That's the question, right?
Well, the book says everyone feels fear, even rich people.
Okay.
It's not about not feeling it, it's what you do with it.
So how do you manage that fear?
One thing the book suggests is to start early.
The sooner the better.
The earlier you invest, the more time you have if things go wrong.
So you have time to recover.
And learn from your mistakes.
So it's okay to make mistakes.
It's part of the process.
It takes the pressure off a bit.
Yeah, it's not about being perfect, it's about getting started.
And the book also says to think big.
Don't be afraid to aim high.
Rich Dad actually says, if you're going to go broke big.
Ah, I love that.
To the bold statement.
It is, but the point is, don't let fear stop you from going after what you want.
And he compares it to that Texan attitude.
Yeah, those big dreamers, risk takers.
So embrace your inner Texan.
Exactly. Now, what about cynicism?
That negative voice.
It's so easy to get stuck there.
Focusing on why things won't work.
Or why it's too risky.
Yeah, I've definitely been there.
It's that voice saying, it's not going to work, you're going to fail.
But Rich Dad, Poor Dad has a different take.
Yeah. He says, cynics criticize, winners analyze.
Ooh, I like that.
He's saying criticizing just closes you off.
Yeah.
But analyzing helps you see the full picture.
Okay.
And then you can spot potential that others miss.
So look at things objectively.
Weigh the good and bad.
Make a decision based on facts, not feelings.
Exactly. And he uses real estate as an example again.
Okay.
People say, I don't want to deal with fixing toilets.
Yeah?
As a reason not to invest in property.
Right.
But Rich Dad says, who says you have to fix them?
You can hire someone for that?
Get a property manager, they handle it.
That's a good point. It's about thinking strategically.
Don't get bogged down in the details.
Focus on the big picture.
Exact, right.
All right, what about laziness? How does the book deal with that?
Rich Dad's advice is simple, but man, it's powerful.
Okay, lay it on us.
Pay yourself first.
And make it a priority.
More than a priority, make it non-negotiable.
Okay.
Save and invest before you even think about paying bills.
Wow, that's a shift.
It is. It changes the whole game.
So don't wait till the end of the month to see what's left.
No, take care of yourself first.
Okay, I like it.
He has this analogy about a weakling getting sand kicked in his face.
Oh, boy.
Most people just take it.
Yeah.
But Rich Dad says, use that pressure.
As motivation.
Yeah, as fuel to get stronger.
Oh, I get it.
So the pressure of paying bills after you've already paid yourself,
Yeah.
that pushes you to make more money.
It's like a built-in accountability system.
It is. You've got to hustle.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It's about tuning discomfort into action.
Exactly. Use it to fuel your goals.
So we talked about fear, cynicism, laziness.
Well, and bad habits. Can't forget those.
Those are tough to break.
They are. And the book says one of the worst is dipping into savings.
We've all been there.
So tempting when something comes up.
Or you see something you want.
Yeah, but the book says rich people, they know better.
They know savings are for building wealth.
Not for covering everyday expenses.
So it's a different way of looking at savings.
It is a mindset shift.
It's a tool for growth, not a safety net.
And it helps you break free from living paycheck to paycheck.
That's huge.
And the book also talks about paying your brokers well.
Really? Isn't that expensive?
It can seem that way, but think about it.
Okay.
You're paying for their knowledge, their experience.
So you're investing in your financial education.
Exactly. A good broker can save you so much in the long run.
Time, money, stress.
It's worth it.
All right, fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits,
What's the last one?
arrogance. That's a tough one.
It is thinking you know it all.
Or that what you don't know doesn't matter.
That's dangerous.
Especially these days with information overload.
It's easy to think you've got it all figured out.
But the book says arrogance often hides ignorance.
So be humble, admit you don't know everything,
Yeah, there's always more to learn.
and then go seek out that knowledge.
From experts, books, courses, whatever.
Always be learning, especially about money.
I love that. It's about having a growth mindset.
Being open to new ideas and challenging what you think you know.
Now, I love that the book doesn't just talk about these obstacles.
Right.
It gives you ways to actually deal with them.
Concrete steps to take.
So let's get into those. What are some things people can do?
One of the first things is to find a mentor.
A mentor. Yeah, that makes sense.
Surround yourself with people who are already successful.
Learn from their experience.
Yeah, see how they do it, ask questions.
And it doesn't have to be this formal thing.
No, it could be more casual.
Just finding someone you admire and connecting with them.
Picking their brain, getting advice.
Exactly. So look for mentors in all sorts of places.
Family, friends, work, events. You never know.
Keep your eyes open for those opportunities.
And the book also talks about mastering one formula before moving on.
Don't try to do everything at once.
Right. Pick one investing strategy.
Yeah.
Learn it inside and out. Get really good at it.
Then you can expand from there.
It's like building a house.
Yeah. Gotta have a strong foundation.
Exactly.
And of course, pay yourself first.
That's fundamental.
Make it a habit no matter what.
Save and invest before you pay bills.
Even if it's a small amount, consistency matters.
It all adds up over time, especially with compound interest.
Let that money work for you in the long run.
And the book also says to pay your brokers well
Get that expert advice.
and be willing to pay for it.
Because a good broker can really make a difference.
Save you time, money, headaches.
See it as an investment in your financial future.
Another key step is to use assets to buy luxuries.
Delay gratification.
Yeah, let your assets fund your lifestyle.
Instead of relying on your job or credit cards.
It's about building a system where your money works for you.
So you're not always trading your time for money.
Exactly. That's the ultimate goal, right?
Financial freedom. Yeah,
Where you have choices, you can do what you want.
I like that. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad also talks about choosing heroes.
Oh, yeah. Find people who inspire you.
People who have achieved what you want to achieve.
Study their stories, see how they did it.
Use their success to fuel your own journey.
And don't forget about networking.
Building those relationships.
Yeah, go to events, join groups online.
Put yourself out there, connect with like-minded people.
You never know where you'll find your next opportunity.
Or your next mentor.
Exactly. And finally, the book says action beats inaction.
Don't wait, just start.
Even small actions done consistently make a difference.
We've talked about the roadblocks and some ways to get around them.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember,
What's that?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad isn't about getting rich quickly.
No, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
It's about changing how you think about money
Mm-hmm.
and making a plan for the long term.
Yeah, building something solid and taking action consistently.
Even small steps can make a
Well,
difference.
absolutely. Small steps add up.
So what kind of small steps can someone take? I like to start small.
Well, one of the easiest things is to track your money.
Track it.
Yeah, your income and expenses. See where it's all going each month.
So you can see your habits clearly.
Yeah, you can't change what you don't know.
That's true. Once you see it, you can make changes.
Right. Maybe you're spending way too much on eating out.
Or subscriptions you don't even use.
Exactly. And then you can take that money and put it toward your goals.
Okay, so track your spending. Then what?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad also says to start investing early.
Even if it's just a little bit.
Even a small amount can make a difference.
So like what? Put some money in an index fund every month?
That's a great idea. It's easy and affordable.
Okay. Or maybe try real estate investing.
There are platforms now where you can invest in pieces of properties.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there are lots of options these days.
The important thing is just to get started.
Yeah, consistency is key.
And the magic of compound interest, right?
It's incredible how it works over time.
So let your money grow.
And another thing the book talks about is continuous learning.
Always be learning. Yeah, we've mentioned that.
It's so important. Keep reading, going to seminars, listening to podcasts.
There's so much information out there about money.
Yeah, find what works for you.
Take control of your financial education.
Don't be afraid to learn new things.
You know, one thing that really struck me from Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
What's that?
it's this idea that financial success isn't just about the money.
Yeah.
It's about having choices
Freedom to do what you want.
to work or not work, follow your passions, spend time with loved ones, travel
Create the life you want.
on your own terms.
Yeah, financial freedom isn't just about a big bank account.
It's about security and options.
Making choices that align with your values.
And that's something everyone can work towards.
No matter where you're starting from.
Exactly. It's about taking that first step.
Building your knowledge, making your money work for you.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
Yeah.
what's one piece of advice you'd give to our listeners who are ready to take action?
I'd say start small, but start today.
Don't wait for the perfect moment.
Just take one little step towards your goals.
Track your expenses, open a savings account, read a book.
Anything. Every journey starts with a single step.
And remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
There will be ups and downs along the way.
But with effort and learning, you can get there.
Keep learning, keep growing, keep taking action.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
We hope you got something out of it.
We hope you feel inspired and empowered.
Until next time, keep exploring those paths to financial freedom.